everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Marketing Strategies to Increase Customer Retention and Drive Sales. My name is Comfort Olukogbon. I work with the marketing team of Axon Analytics Limited, and I'm excited to introduce this webinar today. I'm pleased to introduce today's speakers, Chukwudi Nwokike, Abhishek Mahimkar, and Temitayo Giwa. Chukwudi is the Chief Marketing Officer of Axon Analytics, and he works for WSI Axon. He's also a certified SEO, Google Analytics, and social media professional. He's also Netcore Marketing Technology and has 11 years experience in digital marketing and programming. He has handled over 40 websites and digital marketing projects. He's also the member of the Canadian Association of IT Professionals. Also, I'll be introducing Abhishek to you. Abhishek is the marketing technologist of Netcore Solution PVT Limited. Abhishek has 7 years of experience in email marketing and marketing automation. You can connect with him on Skype at amahikma07. Also, our third speaker for today is Temi. Temi is the acting head digital execution of Wakanow. She has diverse technology background that spans across multiple industries, including e-commerce, oil and gas, logistics, and healthcare, just to mention a few. She has a background in computer information system, and she's an associate in engineering from Lincoln University, USA. She was formerly a senior IT consultant for KPMG Nigeria and the product manager for Konga.com. You can connect with her at Temitayo_G for Skype. These speakers have presented several webinars, and today you'll be introduced to the following: the importance of customer retention in achieving your business goals, 10 challenges businesses face in creating hyper-personalized customer journey for customer retention. You will also learn the important data your organization needs to be collecting that will influence your decision or marketing decision, use cases and strategies for solving the challenges of creating personalized customer journeys, and also the approach to customer engagement. Before I hand over to Chukwudi, who will be the first speaker for today, I have a few things to cover about today's webinar presentation. First, today's webinar will be available after the live session. You will receive an email marketing, which includes a link to the recorded version of this webinar. Next, we would love to hear from you during today's presentation. So if you have a question for our speakers, please feel free to send it through the chat box in the webinar platform. It's very easy to locate. If we don't get your questions during today's webinar, we will sure follow up afterwards, probably answer them through the email that will be sent to you. So lastly, I'll encourage you to share today's webinar with your social networks so that your friends can also take advantage of this information that can improve their business and help you retain your customers. As you know, retaining customers is important to any business success. So without any further ado, I'll kick things off by welcoming our first speaker for today, the Chief Marketing Officer of Axon Analytics, Chukwudi. Chukwudi, over to you.
Thank you very much, Comfort. For those of you who are just joining, I'd like to welcome you to this webinar. So just in case we cannot answer your questions during this webinar, we will be sharing the presentation slides to you. So you can actually find our contact details and you can send an email or you can call us and we can answer your questions. So the crux of this webinar today is talking about customer retention and how it can be used to drive sales. So I'm going to go through the importance of customer retention firstly. So an interesting statistic, it actually costs 5 times as much to attract a new customer than to keep an existing one. So in the Nigerian industry landscape, during our sales prospecting, we always talk to companies and they always talk about how their major focus is customer acquisition, acquiring new customers. However, what is unknown to some businesses is that by maximizing your existing customers, you can actually increase your revenue without acquiring any new customers. So that is what we are talking about today. So a statistic, an increase in customer retention by just 5% can lead to an increase in profits by 25%. That's one benefit. The second one is, how well is your company providing its service? How reliable are your services? How attractive are they to your consumers? With a good customer retention and engagement strategy, you can actually find various ways to improve your business. One of the greatest drivers of customer acquisition is word of mouth referrals, which we call peer referrals. So that could actually be through a friend or through a family member. Now, if you have highly engaged and satisfied customers, they will be more than willing to refer your business to their friends and their families. For making marketing decisions, it is easier to make a budgetary decision with your existing customer base instead of your projected customer base. So having committed customers makes it easy for management to make decisions. Also, personalized relationships with your customer are key to retention and loyalty. And there's another statistic which is quite weird, is that 86% of consumers are willing to pay up to 25% more for a better customer experience. This means that your customer experience is actually as important as acquiring your customers and is a good driver of profits for your business. So we are in the age of digitalization where people have multiple customer profiles. People have Facebook, they have Instagram, they have Twitter. They communicate on mobile phones. They communicate on tablets. They communicate with their, some even smart TVs. They communicate with their smart TVs, their PlayStation consoles. So in the age of multiple customer profiles, businesses have to be strategic in the way they focus on customer retention. Building customer loyalty and providing relevant messages to your customers in those various channels can encourage repeat purchase and increase the customer lifetime value. So let us talk about why is it so difficult for businesses to focus on customer retention. I want to talk about 10 major challenges that businesses are facing in customer retention. After this presentation, if you want to share your experience of a challenge your business is facing, we'll be very much happy to hear it. So the challenge number one is what we call silos in an organization. So what you usually find in organizations is that the marketing team and the customer care team are living in different worlds. They have different KPIs. Like, for example, if I want to talk about channel silos, you will find that most of the marketing messages being pushed out sometimes is unknown to the customer care team. In addition, the customer care team, who is actually handling customer complaints and requests, sometimes does not communicate that information to the marketing team so that they can structure their marketing messages. You also find that the vision, the processes, the goals, and the metrics of achievement for marketing team and customer care team are sometimes different. So what that means is that both divisions are not working to the same objective. Meanwhile, both divisions are set up to take care of the customer. The second problem is insufficient customer data. So you will find that some companies have only email addresses, they have only phone numbers, but they don't have the name of their customer. Or they might have phone numbers and they will not have email addresses. You also find that because of data entry errors, you have wrong customer profiles. You have fragmented customer data. Like, for example, the customer care team doesn't know what is not well aware of the customer's issues in a structured format. So they do not have what we call a unified view of the customer. And some other simple things, such as a birthday. Everybody loves receiving a birthday message. You will find that some businesses do not even have the birthday of their customer. The third thing is too many anonymous visitors. If anybody here is a website manager, you will find out that 85% of your visitors are anonymous. So businesses are always worried. How do we engage them? How do we prevent people from coming to our websites, just getting information and leaving without engaging with their brand? How can you understand the needs of an anonymous visitor? A lot of people try to use data analytics to try to understand why the customer is dropping off from their websites. The fourth problem is choosing the right channel to deliver the experience. So, like we said about the multiple customer profiles, you find out that people are wondering, do I use email marketing? Do I use inbound marketing? Do I use SMS? Do I use social media advertising? What channel will I spend the least amount of money to get the most amount of results? What channel are my customers mostly engaging in, such that I can provide messages to them so that they can take action for the brand? The fifth problem is choosing the right technology. So you will find that some people are very worried about what technology to use. Every organization has an ERP, they have a CRM, they have an email marketing software. They use web platforms for programmatic ad buying. But there's always a debate of what technology is the right technology, what technology is engaging, what technology will give my customers that unique experience. That is another challenge of customer retention. The sixth challenge is multiple data sources. So what you find is you have your website and you have your Google Analytics data in a different place. You have your CRM that has information about your customers in a different place. Your mobile application has mobile app analytics. Your email subscribers are in your smart tech platform. Your transactional data is in your ERP system or your accounting software. Your social media data is in your social media insights. Now, as a digital marketer, sometimes it's actually a nightmare combining all these reports, trying to get an understanding of the customer. The seventh problem is the large investment of time in reporting, which is actually an effect of the sixth problem. So what happens is that digital marketers now have to spend so much time reporting from different channels and trying to make sense of the reports, because data without insights actually is no use to an organization. So you need to use all this data that you are getting from the different platforms, find a relationship between the different report values such that you can be more effective in your service delivery and your engagement of the customer. Another problem is too little or too much messages. So sometimes you find that brands are infrequent with their communication. Maybe you send an email once a week sometimes you send it once a month. You send an SMS message once a week sometimes. Sometimes you send it once a month. Sometimes brands keep repeating the same messages such that they become stale and the customer becomes sick of it. Like, I've heard this message so many times before. And also, you also find out that sometimes brands are not sending messages that are relative to the season, relative to the customer's experience. Like, for example, if it's a Christmas message or a Christmas season or an Easter season, it will be nice for your messages to be tailored to fit these holidays. There's also the case of too little messages. You know what they say, out of sight is out of mind. So your customer does not see you, so you don't have that top of mind awareness to engage your customer. The ninth problem is lack of customer appreciation. When last have you appreciated your customer? Do you send them a message on their birthdays? Do you send them a message on the anniversary of the time when they are joining with you? What about if they take a policy, an insurance policy from you that lasts for 1 year? Are you sending them a message at the 11th month, thanking them, asking them for their feedback, and asking them for repeat business? Lack of customer appreciation is another detriment to customer engagement. And the last one I'm going to talk about is slow response time to customers. So currently your competitors are moving fast. They are attracting your customers' attention. If you cannot resolve your customers' conflict in the shortest amount of time, you might lose that customer to a competitor. Are you sending automated messages? It is sometimes sad when you use like a payment gateway and the transaction fails and you don't get any message from the payment gateway asking, apologizing, and trying to resolve your complaints. Or even sending a complaint on a form. It would be nice to get a message acknowledging that the complaint has been received and it would be responded to in this amount of time. So these are the problems that businesses face with customer retention. Don't worry, we are going to be talking about solutions too. So for the next part of this session, where we'll be talking about the important data that you need to be collecting to engage with your customers, I will hand over to Abhishek, who is joining us from India, that will be leading that part of the webinar. Abhishek, over to you.
Thank you, CK. So let's start with the data points which we need to collect while getting the customer information. So we will start with the basic part, that when the customer gets registered, we capture some of the basic details such as name, email ID, phone number, his address. Some other details can be his gender, his age. Basis on that, a basic analysis can be done on our segmentation can be done. Going ahead, we need to also capture on the transactional data. So when I said transactional data, that gives you a clear idea about when the customer have done the last purchase, how many times the purchase is it's done, what was the last date of the purchase, what are the different products that customer have bought, or the products he or she just have visited the website and browsed that product but did not purchased it, total value of the purchases, what kind of payment mode they have done, and digital channel used for payment. So such data can help us to get analytics further, and based on that analytics, we can send communication to our customers through relevant channel. After transactional data, the most important data is customer experience data. So as I said, what kind of products the customer have viewed, whether he or she have showed any buying intention, or if there are any enquiries made for the product. or the experience in relation to the attributes of that customer. Now, all this experience data can help us to understand different kind of analytics. So when I say analytics, one part of can be funnel analytics. So we can understand the funnel drop off. To just give you a small example, assuming the customer is coming to a website, and after website is going to second page, after second page, so what all pages the customer is visiting, at what page he is getting dropped out, after how much time. So all those detail can be done with the help of funnel. Also, one more important point here would be churn. So usually a customer having a negative feedback, these type of customer get churned. So, and with that negative feedback, if spread it in the markets, such as like to his friends or his family, so that overall we are losing our potential customer also, and plus our existing customer also. However, with this customer experience data, we can also do cross selling or giving like recommendations to our customers on over the website, or let's say over different communication channels. So that's the reason this customer experience data is more important. Talking about impact of promotions by channel. So as I said, whenever we are using relevant channel at relevant time to our right customers, so most of the offers, so first point would be whatever offers we have, that gets redeemed easily. If there are any coupons for we are publishing, that coupons also gets used. Sale promotion volume, channel effectiveness can also, whichever channel we are using, so for our promotion, that can be effectively used. The response rate for that each channel. So when I say channel, that channel can be email, SMS, it can be voice, it can be, if talking about website activities like browser push notification or app notification, in-app messaging. So we can easily track response rate by channel or the conversion rate that each channel is giving. So overall it will give you a better ROI for each and every channel. Talking about the use cases part, now we have just completed our what all data points we can connect. Now let's understand some of the use cases. So what we have done, we have taken 6 scenarios here, 6 different scenarios, and in that scenario how we can communicate to the customer using different channels is been shown. Now talking about first use case, that is connecting marketing and customer care. So here the scenario is customer has subscribed to email newsletter and receives browser push notification. Customer has an account manager who follow up with him for his request made. Marketing sends frequent mail via frequent promotions via email or SMS. The channels used to communicate with this customer are email, SMS, voice, and website. So here, first the customer receives the newsletter. In that newsletter, so newsletter is an email, and in that email we have 2 links. That is, one takes the customer to a landing page, and other takes to click to call option. Assuming the customer clicks on that link which is present in email, and we can trigger an immediate email to and SMS to the relationship manager, so that he is aware that customer have opened the email and he has shown an interest. Parallelly, the customer is going to the landing page. As soon as he lands up to the page, we can show a browser push notification. So we are opening a new channel to connect with our customer. Plus, let's take an example where customer clicks on click to call, where just on a one click, the call gets patched between 2 different customers, between the relationship manager and the customer. And this entire thing is automated. So if we talk about the benefits of this use cases, usually in previous case, the account manager was not getting connected with the customer on real-time basis, but now, as number one, account manager gets the information that the customer has opened the email, means he has shown the interest, and he can call up the customer and connect, share the whatever data he has. Plus, with the help of click to call option, with just one click, the customer is able to connect with his relationship manager on an immediate basis. Plus some other benefits we have, that real-time customer onboarding experience. So customer gets a wow experience and all the problems are solved here. Let's move on to the next use case, that is engaging anonymous users on website. The scenario is simple here, where a user or a customer is coming to your website and we have a form to be filled to capture that particular customer or a lead from a marketeer perspective. So let's take an example where customer is coming to your website. As soon as he comes to website, we are showing a browser push notification subscription pop-up where allow and block option is there. If the customer clicks on allow, now we can, as the customer is anonymous to us, but now he becomes an identified customer as he have clicked on allow, and plus we have the previous data also. With the help of deep linking, we can convert this anonymous user to an identified user. Plus a new communication channel is also opened for us. Now on your website, let's assume that there is a form. There might be some customer who will fill the form, click on submit and get moved out of the website. But there can be some customers who will not fill the form. So there are two ways to connect with this customer if they are not filling up the form. Now, Smart Tech has a capability to track whether at what stage the customer is, how many details he have filled up in the form, whether the customer have clicked on submit or not. So we can put a condition here where the customer have not clicked on the submit button. We can show a browser and the customer have closed the window. So after 20 minutes, a browser push notification will open and inform the customer that he haven't filled the form and that some details are still missing, and the call to action will take that customer back to the form or the landing page. If the customer have blocked the browser push notification, still we can connect with that customer with the help of exit intent. So a small pop-up occurs as soon as the customer tries to close the window. Now the interesting part of this exit intent is we can capture mobile number or email ID. And further automation can be set. Let's take an example, we are capturing email ID. So an email can be triggered to that customer. Assuming if we are capturing mobile number, so an immediate SMS or after let's say 20-30 minutes, an SMS can be triggered to that customer, or else we can patch that mobile number with our call center so that call center team follow up with the customer and understand what is his problem, why he is not filling up the details. So this way we are engaging the anonymous users over the website. Now some benefits of this use case will be multiple opportunities to collect user data for further future communication, assisting users who are not like to fill the form, and customer care is notified on highly interested customers. So whichever are the potential or highly interested customers, so customer care can give priority to that particular users on calling them first, followed by the remaining one. Our next use case is on customer onboarding. Now, when I say customer onboarding, it is like a new customer which is acquired by the brand. So from acquiring stage, we are moving to the engagement stage. Now, once the customer is acquired, what all things we can do? Let's start with the basic that customer goes to a website and gets registered himself with his mobile number and email ID. Now we have his two details, his mobile number and email ID. We'll start with the email, that a welcome email can be sent to that customer, that welcome to ABC Online or welcome to my brand. Assuming that customer have entered a wrong email ID, so if the first email itself gets bounced, we can trigger a SMS to that user, same with welcome content, welcome to us, welcome abroad. In that same SMS, we can add up a content where we found that your email ID was wrong and it got bounced, please get it rectified. So with the help of SMS, we are giving a welcome message to the customer, plus we are asking him to correct the email ID. Followed by the next email, that would be on, let's take an example, mobile app. So we are promoting our mobile app. We are asking the user to download our mobile app. Here also further automation can be set where if the user is not downloading the app in next 2 days, so when I say downloading, he is not clicking on the email for next 2 days, we can trigger that same app download link through an SMS to the user. The third can be an informational email, which talks about your brand, or maybe, as the example says, beauty secrets revealed. So it is a curiosity builder email where we are asking it. So customer usually tends to open that email where some information is given or some detail is given for him, a more kind of personalized. Followed by a fourth email, that will be refer and earn more. So when I say refer and earn more, that it is more like a referral campaign where we are asking our customer who is happy with us from, let's say, around 7 to 10 days, and now we are asking him to share with his friends. Now from all these email, whenever the customer is going to the website, so he clicks on website and he clicks on email and goes to website, and he has not clicked on allow for a browser push notification. So at any time we can show a browser push notification. So by this customer onboarding program, we are making the customer active over email. If his email ID is wrong, we are getting it corrected, plus we are getting connected to a new channel, that is browser push notification to that customer. So going ahead, even though if the customer is not that active on email or SMS, still browser push notification can help. Talking about next use case, that is on win back campaign. So when we say win back campaign, these can be for the customers who are inactive over email, inactive over your website or your mobile app, or customers who have not done any kind of purchase in past 60 days or not used your services for past 60 days or n number of days. So how to get back these customers, these are win back campaign. So to start with, let's take an example of this inactive customer. First, we will start with a cost effective medium, that is assuming the customer is active either on mobile app or on browser push notification. So first we will check that whether if the customer is active on browser push notification, we can send a we miss you browser push notification to that customer. If not, we can, that same content can be sent as mobile app notification over the app. Even though the customer is not accessing the app, still this can be sent. What if the customer is not present on both these channels? We will start again with a cost effective channel, that is email, where a first email will talk about something on the example given, that where had you go, or as simple as we miss you. So that shows that the customer, that this particular brand cares about me. A follow-up email can be sent to the customer that 25% off because we miss you. To just get back our existing customer, we are giving some kind of discount or some kind of gratification to that user. Assuming the customer is not at all active over email, a final try can be done to send an SMS. All this entire thing can be automated through the SmartTech platform. When we talk about benefit with this, as I correctly said, we are winning back our inactive customers. Plus, with omni-channel, we can figure out our inactive customers and on which channel we can help to connect with that particular customer can be sorted here. Our second last use case is on lead nurturing. So lead nurturing is the stage where the customer is not yet acquired by us. He must have just shown some interest or some interest in some product or maybe in some kind of services, and how a flow can be passed for that these types of customer, where there can be multiple things parallelly going on. Let's take an example of a customer where he is getting follow-up calls from the call center, but the response is not that good. We have the mobile number and SMS and email ID for that customer. So we will try sending promotional emails to that customer which has your product details, your services details, and with multiple call to actions. If that is not been done by customer or the customer is not active over email, a follow-up SMS can be sent. Now, based on SMS or email response, we can assign a lead score to that user. This lead score would be based on user activity. Now, let's take an example. In email, we have 4 different links which talk about 4 different products. Link user have such as score 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, as a marketer, I will create 4 different buckets of score 1, 2, 3, 4, and I will get a segmented database that score 1 are the users who have shown interest in my product A, score 2 in product B, and so on. Same can be followed up with over SMS. And plus, this core data can be passed to your lead management application. Assuming if the customer is not at all active on email or on SMS, we can open up a new channel of communication. We can send an IVR, so interactive voice call to the user, where he gets a call based on the response he gives over the call or which key he presses. We can connect to that particular user. Now, some benefits of this use case would be based on the lead core assigned. Now we will be able to understand on which product / service can be given the customer is interested, and we can connect with him accordingly. Also, we will be able to understand on which channel the customer is active. He has clicked on email, so the customer is most active on email. So next time we will be connecting over email only. If SMS, then SMS, and so on. Our last use case is on drop lead recycling. So a scenario here would be new customer is not responding over email and SMS. Customer is using same email ID for logging into Facebook. So we are sending messages to our customer, emails to our customer. There can be some customers who are not responding over email. So we send an SMS to them. But there can be some amount of customers who will be not responding on your email also, or on your SMS also. So all those inactive customers can be collated and added in one segment as inactive segment, and only to those inactive segment, with the help of Facebook custom audience, we can target a Facebook ad. Now, how this works is SmartX connects your Facebook account, your Facebook ad account gets connected with SmartX, and whatever email IDs or the inactive email IDs we have collated in that segment, it gets connected with your Facebook account. A Facebook server checks whether that particular email ID is being used for logging into Facebook. If that get matches, whatever ad which you are trying to show, or whatever product you are trying to sell, whatever service you are trying to show in your email or SMS, that same ad can be shown on the Facebook customer audience. The benefits of this particular use case would be, currently you must be doing an Facebook ad campaign to your entire database, and you must be getting charged on number of impressions. But now we are connecting with our customers based on their activity or based on their presence on email or SMS. Now, which only, and the remaining customers which are not active on email or SMS, only to those inactive customers we are showing a Facebook ad. So we are saving our Facebook ad cost. Now I'll just hand over to our guest speaker, Temi, to take it ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, everyone. So Abhishek has given some really good examples of how to manage your customer and engaging with your customer. So I just wanted to come through and give a little bit of examples of how we do it at Wakanow. So one of the things, so we do multiple things and we have a lot of different channels to reach out to our customer. And if you don't know, Wakanow is the largest online travel agency in Nigeria. And one of the things that we find peculiar to our industry is that the time to conversion window is very long. So most of our conversions happen after 30 days after the first interaction with either our website or one of our platforms. So nobody just wakes up today. Well, very, very few people, I should say, wake up today and decide, you know what, I'm going to travel and have the 200,000 to 300,000 naira to do international travel, and even in some cases the 50,000 for local travel as well, right? So it's very important to us to engage with our customers and make sure that we're constantly top of mind. So these are a few key things that we make sure that we keep in mind when we're engaging with our customers. So the first one is matching the message to the medium or channel. What we found is that every channel that we communicate to our users to has a specific strength. So take, for example, social media. We find that our social media audience is extremely price sensitive. So things like our top deals or our best deals or rapid sales fairs tends to do really well on our social media channel. But on a channel like email, these are people who are a bit more engaged, who are more likely to care about what particular airline as opposed to specifically price. So understanding the mix of all your different channels is very important so that you're sending the right message to the right channel. The second thing that we kind of keep in focus is having a consistent message. And I feel this is very important. You have to make sure with these so many channels that you're talking about, you're talking about LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, your normal display ads, email marketing. You have so many different channels that you're speaking across that if you don't have a consistent message, then there's a chance that your customer may get confused as to what the benefit of your service or product actually is. So for example, if you come to the website and you search for a flight to London, and the next day I'm sending you an email about a hotel in Bangladesh, it kind of it's not effective communication. And this goes back to something that Abhishek was saying is that you have to have like all your customer data points linked up so that you know which customer is seeing which medium. So the third thing is engaging customers on their own terms. And this is really, really important. Not everybody is a social media person. Not everybody checks their email frequently. Some people like to receive calls, and everybody has their different preferences on how they would like to be communicated to. And so that's one thing that's really important, in that you have to either manually or, dynamically, with the help of automation, figure out which customers respond best to which platform, as well as which message. So you may realize that, certain customers convert very well with something like a browser push notification. Others require like a series of emails to stay engaged. Others are frequent visitors to your blog. You have to make sure that you have that understanding of your customer and that you're relating to them in terms that they like, right? Another one that's really, really important for us is keeping the audience engaged on-site and off-site. So people come to the website all the time, and like I said, we have a really long conversion window for travel. And so it's really extremely important to us that we are able to communicate with our customers after they've left our site. So a lot of times the first few visits are exploratory. People want to know, okay, how much is the price? Can I get a visa? Do I need a visa? Can I get one? How much it costs? How many days? And I'm just generally shopping around. I'm not necessarily looking for anything specific. I may have a specific destination in mind, but then again, I may not. Right? So once they leave our site the first time, we can't abandon them. Otherwise, we lose that potential sale. So we have a lot of different platforms that we use to communicate with our users once they leave our site. So, for example, browser push notifications have been really good for us. So if you come to visit our site, and I encourage you to visit www.wakanow.com, if you do a flight search, you should sign up for the push notifications. And the push notifications allow us to send you deals and messaging when you're not on the website. So it comes through your browser and you see those, and Netcore helps us implement that. So, and that has been a channel that has been really successful for us, because that is always a struggle. We've found that it has better open rates than our email and a better conversion rate than a lot of other platforms. So it's very useful to us. So you have to keep all these different channels in mind when you're communicating your message. The next one is similar to the other one, the digital channels mix, the social media email. You have to be very focused and targeted about what mixes you're doing. So one of the things that we've tried historically is try different mediums and see how well they work for us. So, for example, we find that our Instagram audience is extremely engaged compared to our Facebook audience. So our Instagram audience, because we're travel and we're so visual and visceral, we find that on Instagram, with all our pictures of different destinations and all the content that we put on Instagram, tends to have a really, really good, following and very, very good engagement rate. So I would advise anyone who's trying to look at your customer and understanding your digital channels mix is to list out all the possible channels that you can work with and where you can communicate with your customers, and kind of list out what you already know and what you don't know about each channel. Do you know what type of customer you engage there? Things like age demographics, gender demographic, and then compare it to your goals so you can know how much effort and time you can spend on each channel. So for example, if you are all about brand awareness, you may find that channels like LinkedIn or Facebook may be better for you. But if you're all about converting, you may find that your blog converts for you the best. So you have to spend a lot of time writing quality articles and driving traffic to your blog. So it's about understanding all your digital channels and using them to meet your goals. So the last one we kind of keep in mind is the pros and cons per channel. So I'll give the example of BPN for us, which is the browser push notifications. It works really, really well for us when we send out a push. Unfortunately, so that's a pro. So it has a great open rate, great conversion rate, right? But the cons of the browser push notification is that you can only send so many. So we can't use it like something like Instagram or Facebook or even PPC marketing in having that constant flow of visitors. What happens is we send out a push, we have a huge spike in traffic, we get good conversions for about an hour, and then it tailors off, right? So when we see that, sometimes we have management say, hey, can we send multiple ones a day? But we also know the con of this channel is that the more push notifications you send out, the more likely you are to have people opt out of that service. So what we have done is like profile each of our channels and say, okay, what are the pros and cons, so that whenever we have a campaign, we know which channel is the most effective at that campaign, right? So those are kind of the high level things of what we do on how we handle customer engagement. And if I would say one thing just to kind of round that out is the most important thing is understanding your customer and having all those data points that you can reference that help you make informed decisions about your customer and how you're going to be speaking with them. Thank you. So I'll just
thank you very much, Temi. Hello, thank you very much, Temi. So in conclusion, we've talked about the problems with customer retention. We've talked about the problems with customer retention, the kind of data that you should be collecting to ensure that you are engaging your customers effectively. We've also talked about use cases of how businesses engage with their customers for various scenarios. So as we've previously stated, we shall be sending the presentation slides for your perusal so that if you have any more questions, you can actually shoot us an email and things. But I just want to give you a brief introduction about the platform, about a platform who can make all these things possible, and that is the Smart Tech platform. So the Smart Tech platform, owned by Netcore, is a full stack multi-channel marketing automation solution. So it's made up of 4 major parts. It has the delivery engine, which has about 8 channels. So the 8 channels, if I want to talk about them, are web messages for things like the exit intent offer that we spoke about, SMS for shooting out SMS messages, browser notifications. It handles your browser notification subscription and pushing out of messages for browser push notifications. It also has a voice delivery engine wherein you can shoot out IVR calls. Of course, you can send emails on the platform. You can also integrate the platform with your mobile app such that you can be sending mobile push notifications and even in-app messages. And also you can integrate the platform with Facebook such that you can target Facebook audience as well. So if you can see the little diagram where we drew over here is a scenario where an email was sent to the person did not click it, a browser notification was sent to the person. If he did not click it, an SMS is sent. If that doesn't work, the person is targeted via Facebook custom audience. So that's the delivery engine. What I've described now is the automation. So each of these delivery channels, you can actually automate messages across them depending on what the customer does. So it can be triggered either based on the activity of the customer or the attribute of the customer. For example, if you have the birthdays of your customers, this platform is well capable of actually automatically triggering a birthday message at that particular day to the customer without any manual intervention. And of course, it has analytics in it. So each of these channels, you can get a report of it. And what is even more important about the analytics is what we call the unified view of the customer. So because you are using one platform to engage on these multiple channels, it is actually easy to understand your customer behavior. You know what customers are active on email. You know what customers are active on SMS. You know what customers are active on Facebook. So with that, you can send targeted messages, which is what we call the right message to the right person at the right time through the right channel. Now, in addition to the platform that we provide, the analytics, the automation, and the delivery engine, we also provide marketing technology consultant services. So, for example, if you are using this platform and you are not sure how to use it to engage with your business, we have a team of marketing consultants that can give you ideas and strategies based on our global work with our global clients. So currently, if I want to talk about Netcore Solutions is in about 7 countries worldwide. We're actually very much in Nigeria with 60 plus clients in the Nigerian market. So just in case the slides that we've covered does not cover your industry vertical or your particular use case for your business, that is fine. You can just shoot us a message and maybe we can schedule an appointment where we can discuss things related to your business that is particular to your business and how we can use the Smart Tech platform to deliver effective marketing communication to your customers. So we will take questions for like 10 minutes and then we'll close the webinar. Thank you very much. So while we wait for questions, as you can see, our contact details are here. Myself, Chukwudi Nwokike, and my co-host, Abhishek Mahimkar. You can reach us at any time on either phone, WhatsApp, or Skype, or email. Okay, so we have a question from Mr. Damilare. Business issues such as well as customer related complaints. So okay, so like we talked about collecting the right data for your customers, and one important data you should always be collecting about your customers is their experience, and a negative experience is a complaint. So one way company blogs can be used is if you have an archive of such complaints, you could actually create a content series that can be used to address the complaints. Another thing is we spoke about the onboarding series wherein you can send onboarding emails to new customers. Now, with the data from your existing customers, you can actually preempt these challenges and actually provide solutions to the challenges. Like if I want to give an example, if you want to talk about a bank, so when a customer newly onboards a bank, since we know that there's a problem of fraud transactions and phishing emails and all that, with the combination of your blog and your email marketing campaign, you can actually send out messages to the customer during the onboarding process, how the customer can actually protect himself from being defrauded. So you can actually put a snippet in your email campaign and it would actually have a link to the blog. If someone clicks on it, the person lands on the blog. So what would happen is that at the end of the day, the person will be looking at your blog as the go-to source for information, for relevant information as regards to engaging with your brand. The person will be even more willing to drop contact details like subscribe to your blog newsletter, either with their names, their emails, and their phone numbers, and you can consistently communicate with them on a future basis. Now, I wonder if Abhishek has anything to add about this.
Yes. So also that's the same question, how we can use company blogs to rectify business issues as well as customer related complaints. So I think CK have answered each and everything about it.
So, Mr. Damilare, I wonder if we were able to answer your question.
So we have one more question here, that the question is, in matching message to a particular channel, do you focus more on effective channel or try to get more results from other channel not doing so well? So see, ideally from a marketeer's perspective, every marketer wants to increase the ROI. So whatever investment they are doing on the respective channel, if that is not giving them a better ROI, that channel is a failure for them. So usually we try with the channel which are effective to the users, but sometimes we need to try other mediums too. So just to give an example, the use case which we done, that we are sending email to the user followed by the SMS. Now there can be some cases that we know that the customer is active, highly active over SMS, but considering the money we are spending in sending SMS is much higher as compared to email. So that's the reason we are first connecting to the users through an email, or before that email also we are connecting through, let's say, browser push notification or mobile app notification, then email. If all this fails, then we are connecting to SMS. So it's, your question is perfect, that we should focus on effective channel only, but apart from that we need to be more experimental in other channels too. So I hope that I have answered your question. CK, if you have anything to share, you can just go ahead.
Okay. Oh, I guess the answer is good enough. Temi, do you have anything to say about that?
Yeah, I think I can just pitch in here. So, like Abhishek said, you will focus on your more effective channels because you're going. That's where you're seeing your ROI, right? But you have to keep in mind that people change and customers change. So you don't ever just stop using a channel because it hasn't been effective in the past. What you do is you still try, and especially when there's a cost implication, you can actually change your customers' behavior. So for example, we very often see a lot of people who have issues or complaints on our social media channels, and that's not exactly the correct channel to be sending us those complaints on. So a lot of times what we do is, while we solve the customer's complaint, we also follow up and tell them the preferred channel to for them to be reaching out to us. So that's one thing. I also wanted to mention something about the other question of how do you use your blog to rectify business issues, because I feel like it kind of ties into this. If you're seeing people coming to your blog and making complaints, or you can direct them to other channels for solutions, but you can also see that you're getting a good engagement on your blog. Maybe this is the time to start thinking of creating FAQs and a help section in your blog, or doing something like live chat in your blog. So the most important thing is that you're adapting to your customer behavior, and you're taking their behavior into account when you're deciding which channels to use. So I hope that answers your question.
Thank you so much, Temi. Okay. So now we have one more question. How is the system able to retarget anonymous website visitors? So when you say the system, I would assume that you're talking about the Smart Tech panel. So in retargeting anonymous website visitors, first of all, you cannot actually retarget anonymous website visitors if they have not given you any kind of information, such as or a token ID. Like in a token ID, I'll talk about a browser push notification subscription. So if somebody has not logged into your website and the person is able to subscribe to the browser push notification, then you'll be able to send the person browser push notifications, even though the person is not yet identified. Now, another way to retarget anonymous website visitors is through activity-based web messages. Now, what am I talking about? Abhishek spoke of an example of a long form. So let's say, for example, you have a long conversion form on your website, and sometimes the truth is people don't like to fill long forms, and maybe they are filling it midway and they are about to close the form. With a activity-based web message, as the person is moving his cursor towards the close button, you can actually pop up a message telling the person, do you need help filling this form? Please drop your phone number and our customer care people can contact you shortly. Now, with that way, you can be able to get one data point to actually identify the anonymous website visitor. So that's with the web messages. Now, there are other things you can do, like for example, you can say that if you have an informative page on your website that is talking about your products or services and it has a write-up. Now, obviously, if somebody is spending like 5 minutes looking at the page, it means the person might be actually interested in what that service has to offer. So what you can do is you can actually put a rule, an activity-based message rule, that if the person spends more than 5 minutes on the web page, you can actually provide a web message asking the person to drop their contact details. Now, as soon as those contact details are dropped, it can actually be directed to an account manager or a customer care representative or a salesperson who can actually contact the customer at the time when the customer's interest is peaked. So I guess these are the little strategies you can use to target anonymous website visitors that come to your website. So we have one last question. Abhishek, I'd like you to take the answer to this question. And the question is, having a consistent message when sending messages and you're not getting the required results, how do you balance between being consistent and when to change the message?
Oh, okay. Just give me a minute.
Or maybe Temi add to this as well.
Yeah. So to answer this question, that how do you balance being consistent and when to change the message? So again, this depends on how we are reading the reports or how we are analyzing the report. So I'm just, to your question, I'm just taking an example of email other channel where you are sending, let's say, broadcast email to regularly to your customers. Sometime you must be changing the content, you must be getting the subject line. So when you see there is drop in open rates, at that time you need to figure it out that something is fishy or something is wrong with the users. So either they are not liking the content we are sending, or maybe the subject lines are not that catchy to get, so that the users are not opening it. Same goes if the click rate is getting down. When I talk about SMS, in SMS we can just have the delivery reports only. So but still, if there are any links, and if that links, so we are not getting good amount of clicks on that link, so there can be issue with the content, or the users are not interested in content. So number one, it's the content part, what content we are sending. Number two can be of what segment you are sending. So there must be some cases where you are sending the campaign to your entire database, but there are some cases if you are segmenting the campaign, assuming you are capturing genders like male and female, and you are sending two separate campaigns, female with let's take an example of e-commerce company, that for female we are just showcasing all female related products, for male we are just showcasing all male related products. Obviously just segmented campaigns can give you better results. Temi or CK, if you want to add anything, you can just add.
Okay, I can add to that. I think you've kind of answered the question very much so, is that if you're not seeing the results you want, then that's around the time that you should start changing your message. Being consistent is not the same thing as doing the same thing. So when I talk about consistency, I mean, so at any given time, let's say I have a promo, right? And I want to communicate this promo across different channels. I can use different messaging on different channels because different people relate, different channels perform differently, but the basis of the message should be the same. So for example, if I'm saying 20% off, hotels, I shouldn't see 20% off on hotels on Facebook and then 30 on another channel and then 20 in my email, because you run the risk of the same person seeing the same thing in different places and getting confused. So that's when I'm saying you should be consistent in your message, is that the same one campaign should have the right message for the right audience. So one of the things that you can see, if I'm a big believer in testing everything. So if you're not seeing the results that you want, you change. There is nothing wrong with changing your message, right? It just has to be done in a smart way. So you have a message that maybe is a bit very, very formal, and even though it's the same campaign, you may want to switch to something maybe that's more informal. A good way to do that is to A/B test both messages and see which one performs better. So as long as you're tactical about how you're changing your messaging, I think you can change your messaging whenever you see that it's not delivering the results you want. And sometimes it's just you change the messaging just because your old messaging has gotten stale, right? So you should be refreshing your message and your message, your creatives, and all those things on a fairly regular basis. But when you're changing them, you still have to stay consistent with your brand and your campaign and your message.
Thank you very much, Temi. So it seems as if we've shot past our end time for this. So we'll just close it out now. Over to you, Comfort.
Thank you very much, Chukwudi. Thank you, our listeners, for staying with us through this webinar session. I hope you were able to learn a lot and even learn about new strategies. Thank you, Chukwudi, for this session. Thank you, Abhishek, and thank you, Temi. As earlier informed, the recorded version will be shared with those who register. So you can always refer to this session. And also you receive an email, or even the slide can also be shared with you. So thank you so much, and we hope to see you during our next webinar session.
Thank you, Comfort. Thank you, Temi. Thank you, Abhishek.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
You're welcome.
Right.
Thank you.